Hi, Melanie Minschinger here, illustrator for Gina K Designs. Today I'm going to be sharing a very quick, clean and simple card using my Lots of Letters and Pretty Patterns sets. These coordinate with the new Lots of Letters 2 and the Pretty Patterns 2 sets, also from Gina K Designs. Going to be using the lowercase letters today and the chevron pattern from the pattern set. I also have some really fun tips for how to do substitutions for these letters if you misplace them and you need to spell something in a pinch, so I'm really excited about that. The card that we're going to be making is for Father's Day. If you have a lot of men in your life that really like simple designs, this is a great way to go. Also going to show you a little bit of scoring. The products that you're going to need for this card, really basic today, just some white, and I have the Gina K charcoal brown, and then the coordinating charcoal brown ink. Going to be using my Score Buddy for the scoring. Really handy to have since you need to score all your cards anyway, and just that little detail is a great way for adding texture without adding any flash or anything, which my husband doesn't like at all. You're going to need a long block for your border stamp. You can also use this same block for putting your letters on. I'm going to show you an easy way to do that. But I'm also going to show you how you can add the individual letters when you're stamping, so you'll need a small block as well. All right, so to begin, I'm going to take my white mat and I'm going to ink up the chevron and check it. Keep getting little hairs on it. A lot of hairs floating around in here from my cat and from me. Check it before you stamp it. All right, and then I'm going to stamp it with those little mountains and valleys so that I have the spaces in there to put my letters into. So what I mean by that is I wanted to have a full open block at each end rather than going down to make a V. So I'm going to lift that off, and then I'm going to turn it over, line it up to make the squares, and pull it away. Okay, so you do pick up a little bit of that texture just from the dust and things, even though I have the stamp really clean, but I kind of like the texture that adds. All right, now let's go ahead and do our scoring, or you can save this till the end. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm not even going to bother measuring, but I always just line up one edge of my cardstock with one of those tracks. I like to leave a little space at the top before I do the scoring. And then you're just going to go in and go into that score a couple times. And it works both ways. If you like to have a debossed where it's up on your designs, you can do that too. But for this one, since I want to have it centered around that chevron, I'm just doing it this way. So I'm going to line it up with that same track. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my letters right over this. I'm going to spell it out backwards. So got the F. Here's a T. The H. And then the E. And I'm going to show you how you can fill in that A and the R. I have those, but I'm just going to show you a different way to do it because I saw someone say on the forum, I have lost my A or I've misplaced it. One great tip I have about that, they're a lot of times hiding on the bottom of a jar. They like to do that with a smooth, flat surface. But this is just a really easy way to do it. Okay, so we're going to flip that over, put that right inside those boxes, and stamp. Okay? Now, I'm going to take my smaller block, and I have an N on here, so the N works perfectly as an R, so you can put it right on the corner of that ink pad. You want to make sure it's clean and dry to begin so that you're not picking up any other ink from before. And you can pick it up and you'll be able to see where it's inked. So you just add that right in. So there's your R. And then let's go ahead and do tapping that off. I'm going to make an A out of my D stamp. Okay, so I want to take that little stick off the top. This is also the P stamp in this set. So on this one, instead of going off of the corner, you look at the part that you want to omit. I want to omit the top of that stick, so I'm just going to have that going right off the edge of my pad. And then I'm going to stamp that right there. Okay, perfect. Now, you'll be surprised possibly by how many letters are hiding inside of this set. Just a little bit of adhesive. Pop that right on, and I have my father's design. So I have a little list for you on my blog, melaniemenschinger.blogspot.com, which is Hands, Head, and Heart, and some different substitutions for the lots of letters stamps. This doesn't work for every type of alphabet set or every font. It's specific to the font, because sometimes, you know, an A is going to look like an inverted G or things like that. So I have a list for you of different ones that I found, and you might find that there's more. But the A can be made from the D, the B, or the G by simply just omitting that part. The C can become a D by taking off that stick. N can be made from the M or the H by taking off the top. The exclamation point, or taking off the bottom of the J, omitting the side of the K. So you see, so I have that available below and then also on my blog. I really hope this gives you a lot of ideas for how, if you're not being able to find a letter, like I said with the new Lots of Letters 2 set, you have that index sheet, so it's really easy to keep track of all of them. But again, I don't want you to feel like, oh, I need to buy a new set, or I can't use this set anymore because I don't have this particular letter, or I'm not finding this particular letter. I hope this is helpful to you, and I hope it gives you lots of ideas. Again, check my blog for more inspiration. Thank you for watching.